This is Transformers Universe Voyager class Overload. Now, I've been meaning to get this figure for the longest time, and I'm just glad that it just hit stores out here in Manila, in Toys R Us, Toy Kingdom, everywhere, just this week, and I'm so happy I got him. A lot of fans have been looking forward to getting him, despite being a repaint, and I'm pretty glad I got him. So here we go. He is a direct repaint of Cybertron Defense Scattershot, right here, from the Cybertron line. And I don't normally buy repaints. I probably only get repaints if I don't have the mold, like what I did with Vector Prime, or if it's just freaking awesome like this guy. Incidentally, before this particular Voyager was released, he's released as part of the 25th anniversary figures line of Transformers Universe, and he comes after a preceding wave of Voyager repaints as well. This particular mold was also repainted as a Decepticon called Drop, Drop Shot, something like that. Drop Shot, I think. And Drop Shot is the same mold. It's the same mold, but he's been repainted in brown, a little bit of brown, and a whole load of lemon yellowy, pale yellowy paint, and it was just horrible. So I didn't care much about it. I didn't care a lot about it because, well, I was kind of hoping they'd repaint him into something better, like darker black maybe, or red, but they gave him yellow, and I wasn't particularly fond of the new of Drop Shot's paint scheme. There was another reviewer, I think his name is C2Know 7, that's his channel. He did do a repaint of Drop Shot and turn him into like a sky warp color scheme. That's pretty good. You can check it out in his channel, C2Know 7. Okay, let me just talk about this figure for now. Very quickly, he's a decent sized figure. Here he is with Henkei Optimus Prime, who's also a Voyager. It's a very good size. It's not as small as Jetfire or the repaint. What's his name? I forget. Not Stormcloud, but Treadbolt. There you go. He's not as small as that mold, but he's not very big like Inferno or Vector Prime. He's just about the right size. He comes in a wave with another Voyager figure called, it's a repaint of Nemesis Breaker, Leo Breaker. He's Leo Prime. Essentially, that's just Leo Breaker with a new head and Optimus Prime paint scheme. I don't really care much about that figure because, well, it's a Maximal. I'm not a big fan of Beast Wars, and I probably won't get it unless it's on clearance. So, sorry for my disorganized thoughts, but going back to this figure, it's a fairly decent sized figure. Not too big, not too small. I like it. I like it a lot. And I put Optimus Prime with him because the bio on this figure in the box says that he used to be the partner of Optimus Prime, and he's gone on his own, and now he's in search of his identity. I mean, his origin, his history. Apparently he doesn't know how he was brought about. He has no idea where he came from, so he's out there searching for that, much like Wolverine. And then as he meets Decepticons along the way, he just destroys and blasts them, blah blah blah. I don't know. I'm not particularly sure about the history of this figure, but I read some history on him on the internet, and he says, well, he almost appeared in the cartoon as a Micromaster in G1. There was a TV commercial of the Micromasters, and he was one of the Micromasters. He transformed into a semi with a trailer, and the trailer transformed into a jet, and he was the semi transformed into a robot. He was technically a Micromaster, There was he did transform into a locomotive, another Micromaster locomotive, as part of the San Diego exclusive figure. It was part of a combiner. And then in Energon, I think he was a huge monstrosity. I mean, he was a huge robot, I think, that carried all these Micromasters. But there wasn't really a clear identity for him, so I think all in all, this has been his best incarnation, Overload. And originally I thought he was a Decepticon, but I'm happy he's an Autobot, and they've taken that name, the character, as far as they could, and I think this is the best incarnation of Overload. Uh, he's a very good figure. I have very little negative to say about him. I mean, just look at him. I happen to think that this is probably one of the most engineered molds for Voyager figures that Hasbro and Takara has come up with. The transformation is incredible. I mean, it's very simple. It's not too complicated, but not too easy. And what I like about it is the designers have actually made a rotating back joint right here. This whole assembly rotates on its own, so that when you transform it into alt mode, the guns, the rockets, the turrets can actually rotate on their own, even in alt mode. And I'll show you that later, but when you transform him, if you don't already know, if you don't have the original scatter shot, these arms serve as locks. So when you unlock it and fold them all backwards together with the head, they form this is a ring joint right here. This whole circular assembly, it rotates very nicely. I think that's a good touch. The only bad thing, probably the few bad things I don't like about him is well, he's got gorilla feet. I would have wished it would have been smaller, but that's not such a big deal. I mean, it's nice, it gives him good stability. He doesn't really tip over because he is top heavy. The other thing I was gonna say was a little bit more on the paint scheme. I wish they had put a little bit more paint detail, paint application here in the rockets, just like what they did in Scattershot. See, there's gold, but they didn't paint the face. Here they painted everything black. So I wish they could have done something like this. Maybe put some chrome or silver in it, which it wouldn't be that bad. The other thing is the gun is green. I mean, who makes green guns, right? They should have painted this like silver, black, or chrome. But since it's a Hasbro figure, they're probably gonna put chrome on that. I wish they would have molded this into this color, like this one, this particular molding, this black molding. That would have been great. Or this gray molding, that would have been awesome. But his hands are gray, so I think black would have been the more logical choice. But they turned it into green. I don't think this is the mold. I think it's painted green. Oh no, it's the mold. Sorry, it's green. But hey, I can live with it. It's pretty awesome. Alright, just some differences apart from the obvious paint scheme differences. In this particular figure, Scattershot has a translucent visor and goggles, the goggle eyepieces. Whereas for Overload, he's got the visor painted, but the entire assembly is translucent red. So that's an interesting touch. I mean, I like that. He's very military painted. I mean, I'm just so happy with this paint job. And as I said, one of the most engineered Voyager class figures there is. So, we'll do another part on his transformation. But if you can get him, I strongly recommend this figure.